I'm Carol, and this is Rooted in the Chart, and today we're going to be talking about Aries Moon. We're going to talk about what it looks like, we're going to look at house consideration, we're going to talk about why it's so important to leave room for it, and we're going to talk about some important transits that you have coming up that are going to be challenging. So let's get into it. Understanding your moon sign is what I would argue is one of the most important and best things that astrology has to offer you, because it's about understanding what makes you feel emotionally safe. Yes, there are other placements that are important, but this one is one of the deepest ones that you can take away to understand why you do some of the things that you do. Today, we're specifically going to be focusing in on the Aries moon. Now, somebody who has an Aries moon, what it means is that to feel emotionally safe and secure in their soul, they have to feel like they are the best. Now, this does not necessarily mean that they're running around curb stomping everybody else and saying you're the worst. That's not really the case with the Aries moon. It's more that they need to know deep down in their hearts that they've given it their best and that they are the best. So when you have an Aries moon, this is so important for you to understand, because you're going to always feel this drive to be the best, and that can kind of rub people the wrong way if you're completely honest. And if you don't really know why you're doing it, it can feel like this drive that you just do compulsively and you don't know why you do it. But understanding that the reason that you're trying so hard to be the best, the reason you're always looking for leadership, the reason you're always wanting to be bold and start new things, is because it actually is what you do to feel emotionally safe. Famous Aries moons you might be familiar with are Lady Gaga, Rihanna, and Cardi B. All of them are a famous Aries moon. So you are among other very, very driven people. And just understand that this driven part of you is part of your personality, and it's what you do for emotional security. You're always going to have to leave room in your life for this drive, and it can be very beneficial to you in your career and other areas of your life, because you just are so driven to do such a good job. So think about how you can incorporate this in a way that is positive, and don't beat yourself up for this emotional need, because it's just who you are. Okay, so now that you know you're an Aries moon and you know what that looks like, it's really important in your life to leave room for this, because if you're not really accounting for the fact that this is so important to you, it can really feel like frustrating that you're always doing this. But now that you know this is an emotional safety reason, then it means that you have to leave room in your life for there to be outlets for it. And the way that you do this is you take special consideration of the house placement. So if you have your Aries moon in your first house, what that means is that your identity is wrapped up in being the best, and it's gonna play out in a lot of areas of your life. Versus if your moon sign is in Aries house 3, then you might feel like you really need to be the best at communicating with others, and it might be that it's more of an outlet that you use in a specific area of your life. So it's important to know which house it's in. So I'm going to put up on the screen the house placement so that you can look and see where your Aries moon is, and you can add that extra layer of consideration as far as how it affects you in your day-to-day life. If you don't know what house it's in, no worries. All you have to do is look at the numbers in the middle of the screen. That's going to tell you which house it's in just by finding the moon symbol. If you are an Aries moon, you have some important transits on the horizon that you should be aware of. For one, Saturn is in Aries right now, which means that Saturn is going to be hitting your moon. These Saturn transits over the moon can be extremely challenging, because it's about responsibility, it's about finding your limits, but there's also that emotional component. So if you have an Aries moon, keep this in mind. Another transit that you have coming up is a Neptune transit, which means that Neptune will be going over your moon. These are even more challenging than Saturn transits, because Neptune shows you the truth, whether you want to see it or not. And these can feel like you are just trapped, going down a river that you don't want to be on, and it's not going to let you up until it's over. And these can last about 1 to 2 years. So if you're interested to find out more about these transits, I did an entire video on Neptune transits, an entire video on Saturn transits, linked in the description box below. How your Aries moon interacts with other areas of your chart can be very defining in your personality. So if you ever want to go deeper, my email is up on the screen and individual readings are open. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope to see you in another one.